Welcome to Jason in the Kitchen. Today we're going to be making bread. This is a recipe from Brian Langerstrom, and it's one that I've made several times. So let's get started. Alright, we're starting the night before for our bread. We're going to make our poolish, which is just a pre-ferment. This is going to add a lot more flavor to our bread. So we're going to do 65 grams of water. Okay, we go over a little bit. And then we're going to add just a pinch of yeast. Not too much. And then 65 grams of bread flour. So it's equal parts water and flour. It's room temperature water. Alright, now that we got it measured out, I'm just going to take a chopstick. You can use a spoon. You just want to stir it up and make sure everything's mixed well together. Make sure you get down into the corners and everything. And just stir that up until it comes together. And there you go. Now, I'm just going to put a cover on this, and we're going to leave it at room temperature overnight, anywhere from 12 to 24 hours. And then we'll be back tomorrow to make our bread. Okay, it's the next morning. Look at how our poolish has developed. Go inside. See that? That's going to add a lot of flavor to our bread. Okay, to make our bread, we're going to put 350 grams of water to our mixing bowl, or the bowl of a stand mixer, I should say. We got 3 grams of instant yeast. I'm changing the recipe a little bit here. I'm going to add some 470 grams of bread flour, and then I'm going to add 60 grams of whole wheat flour. You can just add 530 grams of bread flour if you like. I want to try it with the wheat flour and see how it comes out. Then I've got 12 grams of sugar, 20 grams of extra virgin olive oil, and then we've got the poolish that we made the night before. That all goes in. You have one of these mini spatulas, kind of helps get it all out of there. And then last but not least, we've got 11 grams of salt. So everything just goes into the bowl. Now we're going to attach this to the mixer with the dough hook. Alright, we've got the bowl attached to the mixer now with the dough hook. Now we're going to mix this on low for about 3 minutes until it comes together. Then we're going to increase the speed to high for another 6 minutes until we have a strong dough. Alright, let's check our dough now. We run it 6 minutes on high. Let's do the pull or the tug test. And we can pull it without it breaking. So that means the gluten is developed and that we're ready to let it rest. Alright, so now we're just going to take our dough and we're going to put it into a mixing bowl. It's going to be a little bit sticky, so if you wet your hands a little bit, That'll keep it from sticking to your hands. And now what we're going to do is we're going to cover this. You can use plastic wrap, a towel, a sheet pan, a pizza pan, whatever you have. And we're going to let this rest now for 2 hours. But at the 30-minute mark and the 60-minute mark, we're going to do some strengthening folds. So in 30 minutes, I'll be back to show you how to do that. Alright, it's been 30 minutes. We're going to do our first strength fold. What we're going to do is take a wet hand and we're going to pick it up on one side, pull it up, pull it down to the other side. Then turn the bowl and do the same thing. Up and over. Up and over. Up and over. 4 times. Okay. So we're going to stretch it back into a ball. And that's it. And we're going to do this again in another 30 minutes. It's been another 30 minutes. So with a wet hand, we're going to do this again so you can see better from that angle. We're going to take one side, pull it up, pull it down to the other side. Spin the bowl, pull it up, pull it across to the other side. Up and across, and then one more time. Up and across. Okay. Now we're just going to reshape this into a somewhat ball. Pop any bubbles that come up. Now we're going to let this cover this again, and we're going to let this rest for an hour. Okay, it's been an hour, and now I've put the dough on a lightly floured surface. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press this down and out. And what we're looking for is to press out all these air bubbles that are inside. And there are quite a few of them. So just keep pushing it until you get all these bubbles out. Okay. You don't want any holes in your bread. So we're going to pop these now. Make sure it's not sticking on the bottom. Okay. What we're going to do here, pull it out. We're going to pull this up 2/3 of the way up. Okay. We're going to take the right side, pull it over to the left side. Take the left side, pull it over to the right side. Like you're putting a blanket around a baby or something. Then we're going to flip it 180 to where the top is now the bottom. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to roll this up. So take the bottom and turn it over like we're rolling it up, and we're pulling back to get any slackness there. We're tightening it up as we roll it. Okay. We're just going to keep rolling as we go. Okay. Push in the sides. Make sure your seam side is down. Looks good. Now we're going to put it in a greased loaf pan. Grease this with extra virgin olive oil on the bottom and the sides, very liberally. Okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to let this rise covered for 1 more hour. And then we'll be ready for the oven. We're going to preheat the oven to 425 degrees and we'll be back in an hour. Okay, the bread is nicely risen. It's ready for the oven now. So I'm going to take a lame, which is just a razor blade with a handle. I'm just going to score the top of the bread. You can also use a sharp knife or a serrated knife. I'm getting 4 to 5 cuts on the top. And this is going to go into the oven for 40 to 45 minutes. Alright, I just took the bread out of the oven. Doesn't that look good? Now we need to wait till this cools completely before we take it out of the pan. And I've got it resting on a rack. So we'll be back after it cools down. Alright, here's our finished bread now that it's cooled. Make sure you don't leave it in the pan too long because the bottom will get soggy. You want to be able to take it out when it cools and be able to let it sit on the rack. But it's a nice looking bread. And this is good for any kind of sandwich. It's better than anything you can buy at the grocery store. And it wasn't that hard, as you could see. Now there's no knead breads and all those that you can make that are much easier, but this is a good loaf of bread and it wasn't that hard to make, and it teaches you a lot about baking. So thank you very much for watching. If you find value in these videos, please like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, God bless you. Alright, let's slice into our bread here. See what we got. Looks nice. This is the first time I've made it with the whole wheat edition, but it looks really good. Let me cut a piece here. See what we got. It's really good. The whole wheat gives it flavor. It's got a soft texture to it, but it's nothing like the bread that you buy at the grocery store. And this is an easy bread to make. What I do is, if you're not going to use it the same day, I just buy these bread bags that I get from Amazon, and I just put them in there and twist tie them. If you have a bread box or something like that, you can wrap it in saran wrap. Some people, they just saran wrap the area that they've exposed. So I mean, you have different options here, and this bread will last for a few days. So it's you know what's in it, you know the ingredients, it's all natural. So let's make some sandwiches.